working right. And he'll get about 6 up to the 27-yard line.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
They run a draw here on second down. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. The Steeler first down on the pickup of 11 yards.
And that's a run that'll energize an offensive line. They'll take that one all day long. Fundamental breakdown by the defense. You've got to be able to make plays on the edge.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. And they'll go on the ground. And he'll get this up to about the 38-yard line. Denzel Ward, the number 4 pick in the 2018 draft, making the tackle from his corner spot.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
And on the ground they go with a running back. And some space here. And all the way down to the 22-yard line. A big hitter. That one goes for 40 yards. You were telling me this yesterday. This is exactly what they want to do on the opening drive, establish the ground game.
Yeah, remember our conversation? We were talking about what one of the GMs in the league has told me repeatedly. It's a big man's game, and it's not necessarily size. He's talking about playing some big boy football. Line up, get leverage, knock people back, and establish the run early.
They'll throw on first down with Wilson. His throw caught right around the 6. And he's in. Touchdown, Steelers. In for the score. And the Steelers take the ball down the field and score on their opening drive. Extra point splits the uprights, and it's now a 7-0 game. Boswell on now to kick this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Mayfield going to lead the Browns up now, 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. On the handoff, this is Taylor. And he's able to plow forward up to about the 29, just shy of the 30. Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it 2nd down.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on 2nd down.
2nd and 6, just inside the 30.
Back 99 Philly, here we go. Over. Hot.
Mayfield on play action. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Michael Brockers forcing his way through there to drop him for a loss of a good 10 yards.
Leopard! Leopard! 4 down, check, 4 down. All right, now, lucky 56, lucky 56.
Third and long for Mayfield. And that is incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on third down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Third down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
So possession goes over here on the punt. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. Pittsburgh's offense now heading back out onto the field. And they'll be looking to make this a 2-score advantage. Had the touchdown on their first drive, Charles. Hey, they can get up 2 scores here on the road. That's a heck of a start.
And not only have they thought about it, I wonder if they visualized it. I remember playing and they used to turn the lights out in our meeting room and run through a situation like this and say, just think about what it would be like to be up on the road and take the crowd out of it. Maybe they did some of that.
A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13.
Tempo. Right, you. Check 51.
On 2nd down, Wilson. He'll rifle this one deep right side. That's caught at the 25. And he finally goes down at the 23-yard line. A big play that time for Pittsburgh. 49 yards. An update from around the league as our first one comes from New Orleans. And it's an early lead there for the Saints. And we'll keep an eye on that one as our game goes along here. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll go out of bounds inside the 15-yard line. 10 more there and another first down. One thing's for sure, this defense has to figure out how to stop the ground game. He's eating them up here in the first quarter.
It looks like they have to go to different forces, aren't they? The conventional things aren't working too well. So I remember a coach of mine saying way back when a back's having a great game, you've got to get the ball out of his hands. See how far he can run without the ball. And what he meant was takeaways, knock it loose.
And he's in. Touchdown, Steelers. A great play there. His 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Steelers are going to add on to their lead. And it's good to make it 14-0. Boswell on now to kick this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. And now the Browns coming out on the field. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does. And a lot of teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game. And typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early. Probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. Line of scrimmage, again the 25, 2nd and 10. Throwing again, Mayfield on 2nd and 10. They find some open field here. And they will finally get him, but not until he's all the way down inside the 15-yard line. They told us repeatedly earlier in the week in our meetings, we need some plays from our defense here on the road early. They got one.
And don't think they were above all week long pointing out to their defense that the other defense is rated higher than them. You going to let that happen, guys? Is that how we're going to play? And they responded to the challenge.
And they see right through that defensively as he'll be hit and taken down in the backfield.
Brandon, that play certainly felt like what I call a tendency breaker. 1st and 10, they dial up a draw play. That's not a normal situation, but give credit to the defense. They weren't fooled at all and really finished off the play.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. So they get half of what they needed. It'll be 3rd and 6 upcoming.
On a 2nd and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape and in previous games that led them to believe that even in a long-distance situation, they can still run the football and gain enough yardage to put themselves in a good spot on 3rd down.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And they'll be driven back here, losing yardage to the 10-yard line. That'll make it 4th down after a loss of 1. And his kick is good. And the lead will grow. It's now 17-0. They got the interception, but very little movement after, and that forces him to settle for 3. And it does feel like settling when that happens, doesn't it?
It certainly does, but we got to give a lot of credit where it's due, and that's to the defense because they ran onto the field. It's what we call sudden change, right? Interception, you got to go put out the fire, and they did, holding them to a field goal.
And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. And this is a unit that, to be frank, doesn't look like they've woken up yet. I mean, a punt and a turnover on their first 2 drives.
And I think the game's starting to take shape a little bit now. And I'm going to take it into the basketball world. When you're having trouble scoring or moving the ball in basketball, what do? Get it to their best player, right? Find a matchup, create it, exploit it, and try and move the football.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And now running right through it. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down, a very solid gain on that play.
And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 38, and he'll get this back to the 32-yard line.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
After the interception, here's Wilson. Escaping the pressure, and he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Joe Schobert coming hard on the blitz. He dumps him for a loss of 8. Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on 2nd down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. And they'll run it here. And down inside the 35, he goes to the 32-yard line. 8 yards on the run there, and that trims it to a 3rd and 11 coming up.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long. Now it's Wilson, flushed out right. And this is going to be incomplete. The all-pro linebacker Luke Kuechly right there on the coverage, stride for stride.
There are a good number of coaches that any time they call an in route are really worried about the play because there's so much traffic ordinarily that the ball has to get through to get to the receiver. And on that play, it was batted down.
No problems in the field goal department so far. He's 2 for 2.
Pretty reliable here in this game, isn't he? And to me, that bodes well for them. If they need him late in the game, his confidence should be sky high.
This is taken at the 3. And an excellent return there as he's up to the 35, but make it the 40-yard line.
At some point, we're going to get it through our heads. Special teams, special teams, special teams. The spark that often wins games.
Mayfield going to lead the Browns up now, 1st and 10 at the 40. Now a give to Taylor. Looking to find a lane, but he can't. Reined in at the line of scrimmage. Tackle made there by Jabril Peppers.
I don't think any of us were surprised that they decided to start this drive on the ground after the last two drives ended in interceptions.
Unfortunately, though, not a lot going on that first play.
Yeah, I think the anticipation was felt also by the defense.
Open receiver, that's David Njoku. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. A gain of 32 that time. So now then, the big play has him all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, Mayfield. He gets it left side to Johnson. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. 17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling.
I like watching the wide receiver screen because it's a real teamwork play. Because guess what? The guy catching the ball, he'll get all the credit. But how about the people up to block him?
And he's going to be grabbed and pulled down. Bud Dupree in there to sack him for a loss of 6.
I think normally we would talk about this more with basketball players and football players, but let's adopt it in this case. He's a stat sheet stuffer.
Had the interception earlier, now a sack. But he just needs a touchdown for the trifecta.
That's about all he needs, and he's going to go for it.
Now a 2nd down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete.
Another dangerous throw there, partner. I mean, he's already thrown 2 interceptions here in the first half. I don't know if you want to keep throwing up 50-50 balls, and you've had that kind of lack of success.
Yeah, absolutely. Very well could have been a 3rd interception in half number 1. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down.
Lucky 56.
From the gun, Mayfield. And he's going to be grabbed and pulled down. Ryan Shazier with a big-time sack on 3rd down. And it'll be a loss of 7. So now the Browns will turn it over to their field goal unit here. This a 40-yard attempt from the left hash. And his kick is right there. It's good. And that will move the deficit from 20 down to 17. Now, that's something of a pick-me-up. The offense certainly has struggled, but they do get the field goal before half to put 3 on the board.
Yeah, you don't want to be shut out, but let's face it. Those 3 points, that's not going to solve all their problems either.
And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking, and I believe that's exactly what they're thinking as they begin this one.
Yeah, no quarterback ever goes out there saying, hey, let's get 3, right?
Not one that I've ever met.
And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down. 2 minutes to go here in the first half. More from Cleveland after this. Now Wilson on 2nd down. And he's taken down, trying to do a little too much, getting outside of the pocket, and it results in a sack. And now a timeout called defensively by the Browns. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. After the sack, they'll come up now 3rd and long.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them run the ball here just to try and get some space.
No run call here. They'll look to throw instead. And this turns into disaster. He's not going to get forward progress. That'll be a safety. And, Charles, at some point, you can't keep worrying about big play. Can this be perfect? You just have to get the ball out of the end zone.
And in the offensive huddle, that was discussed when they called the play. Just get out of the end zone. But you know what's interesting? A lot of the times in the defensive huddle, they actually call a set and then say at the end of it, get a safety. So it's preached, it's coached, it's thought about.
Lucky 56. 56. Hot. Hot.
Mayfield now looking to throw on first down. Going up top. Njoku pulls this one in. He's got it for a Cleveland touchdown. David Njoku, his second touchdown on the season. And the Browns make some inroads here on that deficit. Oh, this is blocked. So the lead is now dwindled to 9 as the kick here is away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Steelers offense now, they head back onto the field. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense. Run what you do best. Exactly.
He rifles one that's intercepted. He's picked off just shy of midfield. And the return here is stopped at the 35-yard line.
Okay, it's real simple to say from here, but we know that sometimes as a quarterback, you've got to know when to say when and just throw it away. Flushed out to the right, tries to make something out of nothing here, and he winds up floating one downfield. It gets intercepted.
Oh, he can't hang on. That was a dream chance for any D lineman to possibly get a pick. But instead it falls down incomplete. Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 35.
Detroit! Detroit!
On 2nd down, Mayfield again. Good footwork at the 30. He dumps it underneath for Taylor. So he got free of one tackle but couldn't do a whole lot else. It's a 4-yard pickup, and that'll make it 3rd down.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
Detroit! Detroit! Gone! 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 Gone!
On 3rd down, Mayfield. He'll get the first down and more inside the 20. And he's got it all the way down to the 12-yard line. And now before this first down play, we're going to get a timeout here. As the clock stops here with 46 seconds remaining in the first half. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Cleveland. A great effort there. His 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Browns have cut it back within a score. And it's up and good. So the lead shaved to 2 now as the kickoff is away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. And the Steelers set to take the field. And we'll see how this is played. Offensively, they've got the lead. Not a whole lot of time left. What do you think, Charles?
Well, it's tempting to try and add to your lead, but a mistake there, that could change things in a big way. I say go ahead.
And he's taken down. This will be a Brown sack. Emmanuel Ogbah in there to pick up his 2nd sack now of the afternoon. Sacks a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he finds some space past the 25 to the 27. 9 yards on the pickup that time, so he got more than half of it back. But it's still a 3rd and 8. And the Steelers on 3rd down. 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This is 3rd and 8. Off the play fake. Here's Wilson. And he'll be wrapped up around the waist and pushed down. And they're going to take a timeout defensively. So with 4th down coming up, they go ahead and burn it and say we'll see what happens. The Steelers send out their punter now as the drive goes. And they're going to fake it from deep in their own territory. So we've reached halftime here with the visiting Steelers out in front. As we'll send you down to Orlando, we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach, it's been a shootout so far. We'll see which defense can make the adjustments as we get back underway in the second half. This is taken at the 3. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. Here's the Browns offense now getting set to start off this third quarter. They're down here, but very much in this game. What's the tonality of a coach's talk when a game is within striking distance like this at intermission?
Typically, what they're doing is emphasizing the things that went well in the first half and wanting more of that. Sure, you've got to go over some of the errors and clean up some things because there's a reason you're down. But overall, I think they want to stay positive, stay up with this team. We're just starting the second half, and we've got the football. Let's go ahead and punch it in, and then we'll take it from there.
See how that recipe works. First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. They go to the ground again with Taylor. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. A good play there as the Browns strike for 16 and a first down.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves.
All the way in, touchdown, Cleveland. A big play there. His 2nd touchdown of the game, his 3rd on the year. And the Browns are able to cash in for 6. Extra point right down the middle, and the lead is up to 5. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Time for the Steelers offense now to get set for their first possession of half number 2. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second half?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use, just something to get you off to a quick start.
On first down, they'll run it on the draw play. Even with the nice move, can't go very far. Stop short of the 30. They give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6. Tough running there. That's a hard-earned 4 yards.
Yeah, those are the unsung kind of runs. They don't fill up the stat sheet, but they do set you up in good position on 2nd down.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And some room to maneuver. And he takes this way down deep into Cleveland territory. It's a big play there for the Steelers. 59 yards for him on the ground. A real field flipper there as all of a sudden they've got a first down in the red zone. They'll run it now out of the gun. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down.
But he was stopped on that play, but he's had plenty of carries all afternoon. Every now and then the defense is going to win one, but I don't think they'll shy away from handing it to him the rest of the game.
Now they'll throw it with Wilson. And they will not get the connection there. It's incomplete.
And it is true. You can draft the fastest. You can draft the most athletic guys. But if they don't know the art of positioning, sometimes it's all for naught. In this case, in the right spot, help force the incompletion.
Yeah, had his hands on it for a second. Would have been a tough catch, though. Falls incomplete. Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. 7 yards on the play, and that's going to make it 4th down. And just in general, Charles, on a play like that, how tough is it for the defense to account for a running back essentially being a receiver downfield?
It's very difficult, especially if the running back has skills like a receiver, and you're aware of that before the game even begins. So throughout your practice sessions, you're going to want to be aware of him. Where is he lining up? What can he do? What kind of damage can he do to us downfield? And who can match up with him without weakening our overall defense? You're exactly right. It's a tough task to match up to him.
Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. The Browns offense trotting back onto the field, and they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
They run with Taylor, and he'll get this one up to about the 39 here. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
You know what really fires up offensive linemen? When the guy that is carrying the ball behind them can create his own space and break a tackle along the way.
Leopard!
Now they'll run it on the toss. And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. It goes as a loss of 6. And now 3rd down. The Browns on 3rd down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 10.
Gone! Detroit!
Working out of the gun, Mayfield. Oh, he's going to be hit and driven into the turf. Cameron Hayward able to drop him for a loss of 2, and that'll bring up 4th down. Here's Matt Bosher now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. Now the Steelers offense gets ready to get back onto the field. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete. So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10. Throwing again. Wilson. And he's taken down. Back at his own 7.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
And the Steelers on 3rd down. A pretty woeful 0 for 5 thus far. This will be 3rd and 19. From the shotgun, Wilson. He's going to rifle one deep left side. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. Now the Browns offense, they get ready to head back onto the field. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
And he'll get this one across midfield and down into Steeler territory. Cameron Hayward in on the tackle.
Partner, I think from our experience together, we have learned that most offensive coordinators are going to tell you, if I'm going to run the football on 1st down, I've got to get at least 4 yards. They got 5 here. They've got to feel pretty good about that one.
The give to Taylor. And here he'll be brought down a little shy of the 35 at the 36. It's a 9-yard gain, and it keeps the drive moving.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. Here's Taylor. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. Bud Dupree, a former first-round pick, in on the stop.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down. A very solid gain on that play.
Hey. 4 down. All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. Over.
This is Harris. And he'll go down, and that will do it for the third quarter of action. Some good games going on in the early window. This might be the best of the bunch. Now Taylor. Open space inside the 10. And finally wrestled down at the 8-yard line. And now timeout is whistled as it appears there's a Brown shaken up on the play. Well, he gets attended to. We'll step aside. So 1st and goal, 6 points here would go a long way toward wrapping this one up. They run with Harris. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. Call it a loss of 2 on the play. And that'll bring up a 2nd and goal.
Over. Watch him now, Barney.
They get it to him running left. And they go the wrong way on this one. Losing yardage back at the 12. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down.
And this is why the head coach gets paid the big bucks. Look at where they are in this situation, partner. Do you throw the ball here in a long-distance situation? Do you run it again and trust your defense and make sure you take care of the ball and punt it away? What kind of options do you have here, and what do you trust more on your team?
Yeah, they may have just pushed him back into that throwing situation. We'll see. So a good spin move there before he's taken down. A nice little gain. They'll give him 8 on the play, and that will bring up an interesting decision here on 4th and goal. So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. From the right hash here, should be an easy one. And his kick here is good. And that will push the lead up to 5. So they get to 3, but you wonder now, is that going to be enough?
Excellent question, because when I look at the smiles on that side of the field, they're a little tight, aren't they? If they had scored a touchdown there, those would be big half-moon grins right now because they feel a whole lot better about their position.
And a touchdown in the other direction, all of a sudden they're down. The Steelers offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. Now a play fake here on 1st down. Open man right side is Smith-Schuster, complete. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Wilson now 5 straight completions here in this second half. 1st and 10. And they'll go with a ground attack here. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down.
And there's a nice stop for the defense. They've had a tough time containing this guy all game long, but maybe they can build a little bit off of that play, a little bit of confidence, a little bit of momentum. Yeah, every now and then you can actually tackle that guy.
On 2nd down, here's Wilson. Flush to his right. Oh, a battle for it here, and this will be caught. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. And a nice gain of 21 yards. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. They go play action here on 1st down. Eluding the pressure right. Now he'll let it go. Got a man. It's caught inside the 10. And he's brought down, but not before he reaches the 8-yard line. A really good pickup of 28 yards. 2 big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. From the gun, it's Wilson. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. Oh, no, he lost the football. And that will get out of bounds. Lucky there. They keep possession inside the 5.
I don't know about you, but I could hear and feel the sigh of relief all the way up here in our booth.
That was palpable. The sideline, the friend there.
No doubt about it. The ball goes over the sideline.
And he's going to take it in for a Steeler touchdown. A great play there. His 2nd touchdown of the game, his 3rd on the year. And the Steelers have taken the lead here in the 4th quarter. So a big play now as the Steelers will go for 2. They're going to try and run. And they will stop him after a fairly minimal pickup. And he will not get there. He comes up short. And they're unable to push this lead to a field goal as it'll remain a 1-point game. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Here comes the Browns offense back onto the field. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the 3-point?
The kicker.
Exactly. He put it through the post. That's going to help him in contract time. But that offense, they're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I don't know if that helped him in contract time. You could have kicked that one through.
I don't know about that.
Toe bash.
I don't know about that. Super toe.
7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 3. They'll operate from the 32-yard line here, 2nd and 3.
No, check. Patriot.
Now the Georgia Southern man. This is Jerick McKinnon. And he'll get this up only to about the 33. The linebacker Ryan Shazier there to make the tackle.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
This is 3rd and 2. Maybe the biggest play in this football game. Harris. And he will have the 1st down, but he winds up taking a pretty good shot that time. They get 5 out of that one, and it moves the chains. Time for a break. We'll come back for the electrifying conclusion after this. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Running game working. They'll stick with it on 1st down. And he stopped immediately there. No gain on the play there. 2nd down.
Short gain last 2 plays. Who do you think's excited about that?
Absolutely. This defense, they're saying go right ahead with those.
Gun!
He's back to throw. Looking sideline, incomplete. This defense has watched their lead dwindle away. This is where they really need to bow up. They executed well there.
And it's often hard after you've played really well early and then you kind of relax a little bit to step on the gas again. They just did it on the last play. Looks like they want to finish this one off.
Detroit! 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 Detroit!
They'll look to throw. And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down.
One thing that I liked about this guy during the draft process was his motor. Of course, I loved his skills, but he plays hard on every down.
And that motor on full display there as he gets his first NFL sack. One score down. Here we go. They're going to go for it here on fourth down. He'll look to throw. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. Michael Brockers in there to get him his second sack now of the afternoon. And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And now a timeout called defensively by the Browns, as the clock will stop with 55 seconds remaining in the football game. So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the first down run goes backwards. Wilson wants to throw it. And he's just going to get rid of this thing. To no one here. He throws it away. And now it's 3rd.
What's the old adage? Be quick, but don't hurry. Well, that went right out the window there. He was hurried, harassed. That ball had to be gotten rid of. Otherwise, he was going to get sacked.
Now they try the right side here. Give him a couple on the run as it brings up a 4th down. And now the Browns are going to take another timeout, as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the game. So the field goal unit is on the field, as this is a big spot right here. And this one, a 41-yard attempt. And his kick is indeed good. And that'll move their lead up to 4 now. Well, the offense, they got the ball in a great spot, but they went nowhere. Forced him to take just the 3.
And they'll be, happy taking the 3. But those guys on the other side, they've got to be ecstatic. They didn't let them get anywhere. It made them kick a field goal. That almost feels like they got the advantage, doesn't it?
And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. One possession game. Time very much a factor. How does the offense handle this situation?
Well, in a lot of cases, they should be somewhat relaxed. And I know that's counterintuitive because this is a pressure situation. But this is Friday practice every week of the season. You go over this situation, having to go downfield, limited timeouts, got to get out of bounds and keep the drive going and set yourself up. Defensively, you can't just lay back and let them do whatever they want. So it is a cat and mouse deal here. How much pressure will the defense bring, and how much pressure can the offense handle?
We're going to find out. Line of scrimmage, again the 25, 2nd and 10. Back to throw. He's going to let it fly. And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked off by Bud Dupree. And his guys are going to take over at the 34-yard line. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. And they'll go on the ground. And he'll work this one up to about the 38. Larry Ogunjobi there to make the tackle. Charles, why didn't they just take the knee there?
You're asking the question that I'm asking as well, because We've seen a lot of football where coaches decide maybe they get a little greedy. I don't know if they're doing it for stats or for what reason. We've seen it happen in college, and how about in the NFL? The miracle of the Meadowlands. All they had to do was take a knee, and the game was over. The Giants ran it one more time. Ball popped free. Philadelphia picks it up and wins the game.
What year was that?
1978. I think it was in November.
A lot of scoring. There's no doubt about that in this one, Charles. Points, they were not at a premium. They were pretty easy to come by.
They were, but it was fun, wasn't it? Because both teams finding ways to click. And you know people who love this game, they also love baseball games that are 14-11 with 3 or 4 home runs mixed in.
So for the Steelers, it's an ideal start as they move to 3-0 now on the young season. And they'll head back home next week to take on the Baltimore Ravens. Meanwhile, for Cleveland, the early struggles continue as they'll sink to 0-3. And they'll try to turn things around next week as they have a matchup in Cincinnati against the Bengals. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports.